This episode of Cozy Conversations is brought to you by Closest Closet, an online and retail store in LaGrange, Illinois, whose mission is to extend the life of existing fashion, reduce the amount of clothing in landfills, and turn consumers into activists.
Currently, 70 million trees are cut down each year for clothing. And get this, one full garbage truck full of textiles is being dumped in the ocean every second.
These statistics are jarring, but the good news is Closest Closet's mission is to reduce fashion waste, and when you become a member, you too are making a huge difference in the well-being of our planet.
Now, for just $20 a month, members can turn their gently used, unwanted clothing into credits to shop for free online and in store. With thousands of options to choose from, Closest Closet is overflowing with high-quality used threads.
The best part? When you are ready to revamp the wardrobe, bring items back in good condition and swap them out for something new to you. Non-members can shop at highly discounted prices, and local folks in need are encouraged to shop for free.
When you become a member at Closest Closet, you are choosing to take action.
So check out the Closest Closet at closestcloset.com and use code SISTERPROJECTMONTH and get your first month's membership for just $1. Then tonight, sleep easy, knowing you've made a commitment to sustainable fashion.
And thank you for giving a damn, because you should. Hello and welcome to our podcast, Cozy Conversations with the Sister Project. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Michelle.
And we're so excited you stopped by for a visit. Come on in.
Yeah, make yourself at home. We're two Midwestern sisters who love a good old-fashioned conversation and enjoy sharing our life experiences with one another and you.
Consider this your one-stop shop for cozy, mindful well-being, along with some entertainment and lots of wheezy laughing.
Oh, you bet there'll be a lot of that going around. Our goal is to live our coziest life and inspire you to do the same, because the truth is, we think it's good for your mind and your body.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, let's get cozy. Well, hello there, and welcome back to another podcast episode of Cozy Conversations with the Sister Project. Joining you are the sisters. It's me, Lauren, and my co-host and sister from the same mister, Michelle.
Hey, here I am, and I'm cozy as fuck.
I love you. I love that. I love that you brought that in like that.
You know what? I just felt like saying
You felt like saying that.
I don't
you
know.
are.
Yeah, I am.
You are.
I've got my cozy candle burning in the background. It
Which
smells
one?
like
Harvest?
It's Harvest, man. Which one
Always
do you think,
cozy
man?
AF Harvest.
Yeah.
It's the best fall candle in all of the land. You guys, Michelle and I want to thank you guys so much for your enthusiasm, your love and support for our rebranding. We love all of the messages that came in, the comments that were made on our Instagram. A lot of you were like, love that 70s vintage vibe. And I want you to know that is so intentional. We are so glad that you caught that. We definitely had that inspiration coming in, and we talked about the colors in a blog post that we will link in these show notes to give you a little bit more insight on how and why we chose the colors that we chose, as well as why it was time for a rebrand. So thanks again for all of the love. I feel like I got a facelift because of the rebranding.
Same.
Right.
It literally breathed new life into just the whole thing.
And I just want to say that change can be scary, and it's scary when you're putting a big change out for a lot of people to see. Some people might be like, well, I really liked the old one, and that's okay. And a lot of people loved the new one, and it doesn't matter. What matters is that if you need to make a change, for better, just go with it. Just do it. Listen to your gut.
Have fun with it. Yeah.
Speaking of having fun, it is one of my favorite times of the show where Michelle reads a listener review. Take it away, sis.
Here goes. This review comes by way of Molly470, and she says, my favorite fake friends, with 5 stars. This podcast is my fave, and I listen to many. They are my walking buddies, cooking companions, and wanna-be best friends. I want to pop gummies, throw back a few, attend events with them, read their book recs, and sing with Michelle. Making up songs and singing that everyday ditty. How's that for a weird internet friend? Seriously, I'm not that weird, but this podcast is a true delight.
Molly, be weird, stay weird.
Join me for a tune.
You.
Love this
review. Great review, Molly. We are so appreciative for your kind words. We want to pop gummies and go to events with you. If you're listening to our podcast, honestly, anyone that listens to our podcast makes me feel like we would all get along in the same room.
So true. It's
right?
We got a good group.
Oh, we got a good group.
It's a good group.
We will be having a holiday pop-up during the holiday season, and we would love to see more of our weird internet friends. You guys, thank you for the reviews. We've got so many coming in, and we are reading them as the weeks go by. It's super easy to leave a review. All you have to do is go into your Apple Podcast app, go to the icon at the bottom and search in the search engine, Cozy Conversations with the Sister Project. Click on show and you'll scroll all the way down where it says ratings and reviews and click on write a review. It is that easy. It warms our hearts. The little thing that you can do to show us some love, to inspire other people searching for a good podcast to listen to. And honestly, it bumps us up. Not only the moral, but also the listenership.
Totally.
So thank you. All right, you guys, we have a jam-packed episode of shit we're doing and loving, places we're going, things we're reading, things we're listening to, and somehow we started talking about Matthew McConaughey. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, stay cozy and enjoy today's episode. Drop those shoulders, nice tall spine. We are projecting. Good. Roll those back. Let's all do that together. Actually, you know what, listener, Michelle, let's take a deep breath. I want you to breathe in through your nose. Roll those shoulders high up towards your ears.
That's kind of hard for me. I don't know why.
Okay. Now roll them back. Keep going. Rolling backwards. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and then release. Okay. We're going to do that again. And you're going to breathe through your nose.
I did. I just exhaled out of my mouth.
Both through your nose. Just try it. Breathe in through your nose. Roll those shoulders up high. Roll them back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, listener, and then breathe out through your nose and release. How good does that feel?
Feels pretty good.
Isn't that great?
That was
Do
nice.
it every day. Anytime you feel like you're like stuck in a jam, you're waiting in line for that's when I do it a lot when I'm waiting, whether it's waiting in line or waiting for the cashier to ring me up and she's helping someone else, whatever it might be. If you ever feel a bubble up of like, oh, what's taking so, roll the shoulders up on an inhale, roll them back on an exhale, do it 1 to 3 times, and you're going to be resetting yourself.
Feel like you just reset me.
I had to reset myself. So I figured, let's get everyone up.
Reset you too.
Reset. Because we record on Fridays and it is Friday.
TGIF, honey. As soon as I get that barrel rolled down, I'm going to make a GIF of myself. Oh my God.
So lately, Michelle's been talking about, so you guys know, like when you heel click, when you're so excited, like people jump up and click their heels. Well, there's
sort of like a Dick Van Dyke, Mary Poppins move kind of a thing, The
barrel jump roll in the air is like an elevated version of that. And Michelle.
Well, it's the Western version.
Yeah. Well, what's the heel kick?
That's more of like a British.
Oh no, see Western.
Now I see less Van Dyke and I see more cowboy. With spurs, actually.
Like, yippee!
Yep. Whoa.
And they click their heels together.
Which I can do. Can you do it? Have you ever been able to actually do that one?
I think I've tried one time. Our sister Nicole can actually do a pretty mean heel kick as well.
She can. This is correct.
She can. Wait, Michelle, there's a couple things coming up in our hometown that I wanted to ask you about. So LaGrange, Illinois, they are festive as fuck. Okay. These people in LaGrange, they know how to throw down. And I know that Michelle, you have, we have the the witch ride, the inaugural witch ride coming up on October 14th. Are you going to be participating?
I am seriously so excited about this event.
You are?
Yes, okay. But that day also happens to be my freshman in high school's homecoming. Okay.
But listen, the witch ride, you guys, the witch ride is only from noon to 4.
Noon to 4.
Noon to 4. And
noon to 4.
I feel like the latter part of it is like at the, the Elm restaurant in LaGrange. They're having the after party. I'll have a drink, but I'm literally there for the ride. I want a witch ride with my fellow witches.
Will you be wearing witch gear?
Well, why wouldn't? I mean, I'm going to have certain
Will you be wearing
crystals
a
in my
pointy
pocket.
hat?
Of
What
course.
will you be wearing?
I
a
haven't
cape?
decided if I'm going in
like full
I'm
on?
usually, when I dress as my witch self, like around the Halloween time, I go all black, I go pointy hat, a cape is a must. Listen, if it was the norm, and I don't even care about norms anymore because I do what I want, I would wear a cape on a regular basis. Forget the hat. I don't really need the hat. But I do. Michelle,
What?
I have to
What?
take this
Oh my
call really
God.
quick.
Why?
Okay, I don't have
What
to.
is it?
It's my nail lady.
Oh my God. I'm actually, you know what? That actually annoyed me.
Well, because they're
cannot
trying to
believe
squeeze me in.
Oh my God. Sorry.
And I have a
you know
chipped
what?
nail.
Same. Haven't done one thing about it. Here's the difference between you and me. Okay. I have black, remember
No,
you
I
guys,
got
Lauren has clean girl nails, guys. Remember her nails are clean. So you can't see if she
You
looks like a
cannot see.
hobo or
You
not.
cannot see.
I have witch nails. They're black.
So
you
you're
get
authentic.
You get one chip and you look like, according to Lauren, a hot ass mess.
Yep.
Lauren, I cannot believe you were going to just interrupt our conversation for that call.
I hope they book me. Tom is trying to squeeze me in early tomorrow morning.
Oh my God.
Okay, back to the witch ride. Yes, I will. I would love to be wearing a cape on a regular basis, but I'm going to just do, yes, I just got the text. I've been booked. You guys.
So now I think the listeners are going to hear me get annoyed for the first time in 261 episodes, because I want the listener to know that if I even look at my phone, which is usually to look at my notes, on the rare occasion my children are texting me, I do respond to that. And Lauren will see me looking at my phone and she'll pause and she'll get this like sort of rude scorpion look and go, are you ready? Are you back? Are you focused? And I'm like, oh, I was just looking at my notes while she's still looking at her phone.
I'm actually not looking at my phone about that. So moving, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Thank you.
I will be less to bite your head off when you look at your notes on your phone.
Thank you.
Listen, listener, that's Michelle being a big old witch. We do hope you'll join us because we will be at that witch ride. So you can get tickets. I'll link the notes in the notes where you can get those the witch ride tickets. But the other thing that's coming up that I think is super, super cool is the LaGrange Art League. It's a gallery in town. They're doing a Mexican tissue paper decorative flag tutorial. And this was happening on September 30th. And it's for ages 11 to adult, $10 a person. And you guys know what flags I'm talking about. If you've gone to any small town in Mexico or walked around Pilsen neighborhood, you may have seen like those tissue paper celebratory flags. They're so freaking cool.
So colorful.
They're having an individual by the name of Carolyn Thomas Davidoff, who is going to teach you how to make them. And if I were in town, I won't be in town, I would probably make you or Mia or someone come with me and go learn how to do that.
For sure.
So
Love that.
We'll link that. That's just something fun and festive that we think you can do. Something, learn about another culture.
For sure, Lauren.
We'll link that in there. And just fun things around LaGrange.
There's another fun thing around LaGrange that we need to mention. This is super exciting. The Hometown Flick. I don't know, local listeners, if you guys remember last year, if we even talked about this on the pod, but our old friend, Blake Tamarkin, who this is family friend, grew up together. He came to LaGrange in Chicago a year ago to make his first feature film called Third Wheel. And he is premiering it on October 15th. So the same
14th.
day as the
14th.
What did I say?
The 15th, but it's the 14th.
October 14th, same day as the Witch Ride, in the evening at the Quarry Theaters here in Hodgkins. But you guys, if you're around and want to see a local hometown movie made by a local filmmaker, we'll share also the link for that in the show notes. I have that, Lauren, so I'll send that your way.
Awesome. You guys, fun things going on. And I love this supporting the local and the Witch Ride, women, and I'm sure there's going to be some male witches hopping about, just everyone coming together. Listen, fall is here. And when fall is here, that's when I feel like people really
raise their freak flag a little bit.
Their freak flag has been raised.
Love it.
So, Michelle, we just got back from a trip to New Buffalo. I was just really jonesing for like a Michigan getaway. So I looked up on TikTok. Okay, I was on TikTok and this
Is this
creator.
your like main source of like resource now? Is that how you're doing it?
Well, like I've said, I may have not shared this. I think I did actually. I stopped reading the Daily Mail because that was my main source of big news. And it was so triggering and it was so depressing and it was just not doing me anything well. So I decided I'm done with that. And so I have taken to TikTok to obtain other kinds of news, feel good stuff, actually, travel stuff. And I randomly stumbled upon this creator who was talking about the neighborhood hotel. And it looked really cute. And it wasn't like a sponsored post or anything. He was just talking about like, if you live in the Midwest, this is a great hotel to visit. And I did some diving in and I'm like, okay, place is awesome. So we booked a room there. And then they've got several different properties, New Buffalo, Grand Beach. They have a place in Lincoln Park. And they are opening a place right down the block from my house in Little Italy.
Question. Is their place in Grand Beach, was that the old bed and breakfast that used to be in the neighborhood where we had our summer house?
I don't know.
Do you remember that bed and breakfast?
No, but what I can tell you,
turn into the golf course. Oh my God.
Maybe it is, but I don't know. All I know is that the Grand Beach location is supposed to be a beautiful property. It has much more land. It's super, you guys, these places are for families. Like I can't tell you how accommodating it was to have my baby in this hotel. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, there's a washer and a dryer, which is
right there.
Here's my money. Just take my money and my credit card and I'm coming to visit you.
Seriously.
It's just, and not only because I have a baby who will make, soil stuff faster, but I go home with all my clothes cleaned. I did all of my laundry before I came home. So all I had to do was open it and put it away.
That is a Ryan Anderson move. If there's a washer and dryer somewhere, he will go home, take his clothes out of his bag and put them right back in his drawer.
It just makes it's seamless travel. And then other huge plus, you're rolling it up.
Heaps of dirty clothes, heaps.
I don't know how. Oh my God.
And then dumping it down the stairs and then doing 11 loads of laundry.
No. And then the other huge plus was there's a full kitchen. It's a communal kitchen, but it's full. That. Yeah. And everyone is super clean. People put their stuff and they have like little notes that you write like your last name on it. Not that anyone's going to steal your shit. I was thinking maybe if someone was drunk, they would eat like some of the good, like the food that we had in there because we had some good stuff. But, yeah, I would highly recommend this hotel. And then if you guys are looking for a like apple picking spot, check out Schaefer Farm. They're up there in that area. I think it's Berrien County. Okay. And when you go there, first of all, the ladies that run the place are so fun and so cool and chill. They tell you where to go for what apples you want. So go pick, and it's like $18 for a ton of apples. And then there's a little sign. This is a pro tip. There's a little sign next to the Schaefer Farm sign that says honey, half a mile up the road. And I forget the name of the farm.
I think travel pro tips.
Oh,
I'm waiting.
This was one of my favorite experiences. So I'm like, Anthony, let's go check out what this honey is. So sure enough, we go to half a mile down the road and there's like a little sign that says honey, and you pull into the driveway and then you're like in this little like farm oasis of homemade goods and honey. And I go up to this little shed and there's a giant, I think this poor thing's going to be Thanksgiving Day dinner, but there was a giant turkey right in front of the door to the honey shed. So I had to get in good, standing with this guy. And I was like, excuse me, sir. And they're actually quite peaceful. They're not, I don't know if turkeys are known to be aggressive.
I think they're just known to be stupid.
Well, maybe that was it because he just moved
processing disorder. They have like a processing disorder. A little late to the game.
He was like, "What?" And I moved him out of the way.
Was he like?
Didn't make a peep. And I was like, okay. I loved him though, and he moved. And then I walked into this shed of honey. Someone in the home is a felt maker, so they'd like felt handmade bowls.
Cool. That's cool.
Oh, just really, really cool. Highly recommend. It's just one of those little things that you stumble upon in your travels that you have to share with others.
Can we just start traveling with you guys? I feel like that's maybe what we need to do. Just hook up with you.
And I'll tell you what, it's so different traveling with a child. But if you bring all the shit that you need to bring, and you're prepared and you know that you're going to be in bed. I mean, we would be in bed almost every night, or in our hotel. You guys, the slumber pod, if you have a freaking baby and you decide to travel, get the slumber pod. It's a blackout tent like thing that goes over the pack and play. Once you get that kid and they're settled and sleeping, you can turn all of your hotel room lights back on. And we had the TV on, we were watching movies. Oh my God.
Amazing.
It kind of, yeah, it's huge. You don't have to like live in quiet darkness while you're traveling. It allows you to actually, you know, sit and have a glass of wine. We'd sit on the porch of our hotel room. It was awesome.
I love that.
Yeah. So neighborhood hotel, Schaefer Farms, we'll link it all. So Michelle, while I was traveling, what were you guys up to while I was away?
Oh, let's see. Well, I'm pretty sure COVID went through the entire house.
Oh, you guys got hit.
So, there was a little bit of nothing going on. A lot of bed rotting. There's a lot of bed rotting going on. But
you are becoming a professional bed rotter.
I had to be rolled for
COVID or not. You need to be rolled.
I can bed rot with the best of them. Mia didn't come by this, you know, by accident. Okay. I just don't brag about it. But in the midst of the bed rotting, Ryan came downstairs and he's like, guys, and he was holding a iPad cover, and it was covered in like dust and like dog hair. It was filthy.
So weird.
And he was holding it. He was like dangling it by a corner because he's not really into dirty things. And he's like, so I just found this in the floor of our second floor vent. So you walk upstairs, there's a second floor vent in the floor where you can actually lift it up. And then there's like a big old, you know.
Oh my God. Did you guys discover like some sort of like artifact?
It was so weird. And so Will comes in the kitchen.
It's like a ghost story.
Yeah. It was like a ghost story until the ghost came to life.
The apparition appeared.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Ryan's like, does anybody have any idea how this could have gotten inside the vent? It also answered a few of our questions as to why we all have been sweating to death, worse than normal for the last several summers.
Why was it blocking the AC?
It was the return. So in order for the AC to function properly, you got to suck the air in to blow the cool air out. So Ryan was like, does anybody know how this would have gotten there? And I was like, I don't freaking know how it got there. I'm like, and I turned like literally was like, and I don't care, basically. Like, glad you found it, mystery solved. End of story. Will's like, I don't know what. That's so odd. I wonder how that happened.
Did he say that? Did he say
he was like standing there and he was kind of just like, whatever. So, you know, a couple hours later, surprise, I'm back in my bed rotting.
Back to bed rotting.
In comes an apparition, which is my son. And he says, I have a confession to make. And I'm like, oh, yes. And he's like, and I'm like, what's it about? And he's like, it's about the case that the computer case that Dad found in the vent. And I was like, hang on a second. We need to get your father up here. And he's like, no. He's like, just you first. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, about 3 years ago.
Telling on himself. He is so you. He is you. Oh my God. Okay.
So freaking you.
Oh my God. So what happened 3 years ago?
About 3 years ago, I was worried that Kevin was going to fall into the floor. So I thought I would block the hole.
Oh my God. He put it there.
He put it there. He did it.
For 3 years. For 3 years. You guys have been living in a sauna.
But Lauren, it reminded me of the time I think I was babysitting. I don't even know how the story transpired, but our parents came home to discover a grease line, somebody took like a stick of like a
deodorant
soap it was deodorant.
Yeah, it was deodorant.
And walked it like along hip level through made a stripe.
And I know it was a freshly painted hallway. So this is when we were kids. The whole house was
just painted.
Yeah, in Western Springs. And I remember that there was a lot of hoopla around it. Our parents were really like wanting to know it was a whodunit case. It was a good old fashioned case of who the hell just ruined our walls. And I have a feeling, and I don't know, sometimes your memory gets a little skewed after like 35 years.
But hang on a second. Before you tell them how we all sat on the stairs and mom and dad did you better tell us who did this. You're all going to your room until somebody comes forward, and everybody stood their ground. We were in our rooms.
Well, see, here's the deal. I think I took the fall. I don't think I really did it. I do remember saying it was me, but I think I only did that so that we would all like be let out and can live a normal life.
Wait, you think that you took
I took the fall? I did not.
Then?
I have no recollection. Not then. Like years later, I admitted to it. I don't know. It's such a weird memory. I think it was Nikki. I think it was my little brother.
It was Nick. Same.
And I think and I don't think anyone knew it at the time. And then I feel like I just took the blame for it. Like, being the middle child, no one cared about me anyways.
Yes,
I figured
correct.
They'd be like,
you
did it?
She's
Who cares?
Invisible.
Okay, wait,
Too
Michelle.
funny.
I did something the other day, and I'm really like, this is changing everything. So we are about 14 and a half months postpartum, and I'm saying Lauren got her groove back.
Lauren did get her groove back.
And not in all ways, but in many ways, I feel my groove has been returned.
I agree. I told you when you walked in the door a couple days ago.
It's been given back to its owner, and I'm glad that this is a message for all women out there who have had a baby. They know what I'm talking about. A point comes in your life after baby where you're like, oh, I kind of look like myself again.
Yep.
You know, and you're like, oh, I don't look like a ragamuffin. Okay.
You can wash your armpits, take a few minutes. Yep.
Just start looking like yourself. You see you start to see what yourself looked like in photos pre-baby or even pregnant. Because I feel like I looked at my best. Like, honestly, when I was pregnant, I've never felt more amazing in all different ways.
Exuded that feeling in every way. While many women, like I'll speak for myself, felt like beautiful. A fucking blue whale.
No, stop. But I know that people, there's that whole thing that like, oh, girls steal your beauty. You must be. No, your baby takes a little bit of your life. Like 3 months postpartum is when you're like, where am I? Who am I?
Who am I?
This is a message for new moms out there or women that are going. It's a very hopeful message. Hope. There's a lot of hope. You're gonna go through the trenches. Is that the word I'm looking for? You're gonna,
trenches?
I don't know.
I trenches. Think the trenches.
You're gonna go through the trenches. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And it's gonna get murky and it's gonna feel like a battle. And there is another side, and you're going to get your groove back. It took me, and I know it sounds like a long time, like 13 and a half months. It's not that long because you're in the middle of being a new mom and you're good to go.
Will be a blur anyway.
Yeah, and don't worry about what you look like. Doesn't matter. You have to keep your baby alive, healthy, and clean, and fed, and sleeping and whatnot. Just this is a message that your groove returns.
Yep.
So with my groove returning, I have been doing an incredible job of capsule shopping for my capsule wardrobe because I am a different size now. A lot of clothes don't fit like they used to. So I am working on donating them to places like Closest Closet and selling some other pieces.
Love it.
Nordstrom's. I wasn't going to go because I'm not like a big shopper and I was just like, whatever. But I knew I channeled June Massarella because when June Massarella, our mom needed something, anything from a black pair of shoes to a lipstick to a sweater, she went to one place and one place only. She went to Nordstrom's. Okay. So I channeled June and I went into my department. I found a woman. Her name is Florentina.
Okay. Love this story already.
Oh my God. I might cry talking about this because I was talking to my friend Maggie about this before and I'm like, I'm just going to go. And, again, I'm still postpartum, like, shopping, whatever, but I'm feeling like my groove is back. So I'm actually in really good spirits and I feel it. I'm going to find what I need. I'm finding what I'm needing. Like I'm finding things that I need and want for my capsule. I'm bringing them into my, my dressing room. And then as I'm trying things on, I'm crying. Now I'm crying.
Aww.
I'm crying because I wish my mommy was there. I want my mommy to be there to tell me whether this fits or not, or this looks good, or let's go get another sweater to match with this cool maxi jean skirt that you bought or you're buying. So instead, I push the tears back a little bit. Oh my God.
Now I'm crying.
And it happens a lot when I do these kind of things at Nordstrom's. Nordstrom's is a June Massarella place to be. Florentina turned into June for me. So I go and get Florentina. I've dried my eyes. I don't even know if you can tell that I'm crying. I've asked her to come into the dressing room, not in my room, but into the, the space. And would she mind waiting while I try on each piece of clothing. And she told me if it fits properly, if she likes this look, blah, blah, blah. Did I really need that second opinion? Not really, but I needed a woman, someone who was super kind and caring to just be in there with me and kind of in a weird way support me and I didn't have the support of my own mother, but Florentina took that kind of space up for me. And even when I was in there trying something on, someone asked her to help her with something and she's like, I'm sorry, I'm actually with someone in this room. I can help you afterwards. And I just felt so, in a weird way, taken care of.
Oh, I love it.
And I felt so good. And this is just to say that no matter how old you are, we all want our mommy.
It's so true. I have to say, Lauren, I think it's the fall. I think it's been autumn because our mom's birthday's coming up. And this was like our Super Bowl with our mom, this season. And I told you, I think yesterday I squirted out a couple of tears, like literally, and for no reason at all. Just, I miss my mom.
Miss our mommies. We miss our mommy. And it was very therapeutic though. And I like doing these rituals that I used to do with mom and doing them, even if it's by myself. One day it will be with Luna. And it feels good to do the things that I used to do with her, even though it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It makes me sad. It makes me remember her. And it makes me remember my favorite time spent with her because she spoiled the shit out of me.
Totally.
And she would dye me dresses so that Anthony would marry me because we would go to weddings together in our late 20s. And she would say to me, he's going to marry you one day.
She manifested.
And she was right.
She manifested that for you. She was right, Lauren. Our little tradition when mom and I used to also go to Nordstrom, we would get into the parking garage to park and
smoke cigs.
No, we would get to the front. We would go, and if there was a parking spot, like the first spot by the door, we would take it and we would look at each other and we'd go, it's a sign.
Oh my God, Mom!
Be a good shopping day.
Mom knew. Mom always felt that if she got a good parking spot, that it was a sign. And yesterday, it's so weird. I have a secret spot that I go to when I go to the Nordstrom's on Grand Avenue. There's a secret parking area that I kind of like. I will only go to Nordstrom's actually if I get a spot there because I hate parking garages.
Yeah,
and I got a spot, and even the ticket dude pointed at me and he's like, there's someone leaving, grab this spot. Like you can tell that the spirit of June was manifesting through the ticket dude to tell me that a spot was opening
I'm telling you, for sure. That was the spirit of June.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
good
I'm glad that we talked about that. I tried to tell you a couple of days ago I wasn't grieving anymore.
Yeah, Michelle was ripping on me because I'm like, and I said something along the lines of like, we're always grieving. She's like, oh, I'm not grieving anymore. I'm like grieving. And I'm like, well, I think when you lose someone, you kind of grieve forever. And then she's like, wait, I was crying yesterday about our mom. I was like, right. You're grieving still. The grief never goes away.
No.
It just changes.
Yeah. And it just bubbles up when you least expect it.
And now let's hear a word from our sponsor. Fun fact. Did you know that I actually hate filling my car up with gas?
I don't.
Seriously, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh my Lord. I'm a total avoider. I am the queen of running on empty. Running on empty. I actually have a friend who I share the same disdain with and we exchange photos of our gas gauges when they're on E.
Oh, that's an interesting text message. But Michelle, what is the point of your story?
That's right. My point. Okay. I don't think I had one. Oh, well, yeah, I did. All right. I will say, since we're on the topic of automobiles, I actually love going to our local neighborhood auto repair shop for all of my maintenance. Oil changes, digital inspections, the whole bit. The name of my spot is called Vapel Auto Repair, and it's right here in LaGrange Park. It's one of the most lovely, friendly, inviting places I have ever had my car serviced.
Wow. Well, Vapel Auto sounds like a dream come true, but I need you to tell me a bit more about this digital inspections you speak of.
I would love to. Digital inspections are super cool. This is where the mechanics take photos and videos of the areas specifically concerned within your vehicle so the customer can see exactly what's going on under the hood.
Okay, I appreciate this so much because I don't have a clue what's going on underneath
there. You and me both.
Not
only is Vapel Auto an independent, family-owned and operated auto repair shop, Vapel is a NAPA-approved auto care center. However, the part I love most about Vapel Auto is that you are actually invited to snuggle up in their cozy waiting room and sip on a hot beverage while you wait for your car's service to be completed. Doesn't that sound delightful? An auto shop that is cozy too?
Oh my God. Vapel Auto sounds like my kind of auto repair shop. Listener, if you are local or live near the west suburbs of Chicago and in need of a reputable mechanic that cares about your car and your cozy, mindful well-being, then schedule an appointment at vipelauto.com or call 708-352-8800. And now, back to our cozy conversation. All right, Michelle. It's time for our lightning round. What are you reading, watching, listening to? All right, kick things off. I'm quitting Harry Potter. I don't care. You guys can fucking nail me to a cross. Listen, it's not for me. I love it. It's so cute. I need someone either to be murdered. I need a mystery. I mean, I'm sure that all of this somehow takes place, but it's just like too PG for me. I'll watch the movie on a cold, rainy day one day.
Fair enough.
Okay.
And it's fine that you quit Harry Potter, because I literally picked up where you left off. I pulled it off my shelf because I was over my Hey Hun, the ML multi-level marketing book. Good, interesting. Got about halfway through and was like, you know what? I'm bored. These companies don't seem that great to work for.
Yeah, and that's all I need to know.
And now I'm going to go to Hogwarts School of Wizardry, and it's bringing me back to my junior year of college when I was studying a heroes class for my lit major, and it's just giving me all of the nostalgia and all of the fall, like, spooky vibes.
Okay, so to piggyback off of that, someone wrote in, our listener Allison wrote in.
Hey, Allison.
Hi, Allison. Thank you for the recommendation. Actually, several people wrote back in because last week or 2 weeks ago, I asked for book recs for the fall. Mm-hmm. And Allison said, you have to read The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sengu Mandana. And I said, I'm going to. I read the reviews. I saw the cover. I started it. It's also the book that our friend Elise from Fox Family Den is doing for her Book Den book club. So if you want to read this book with me and also kind of do a book club with another influencer and content creator, go follow Fox Family Den. She's doing this with another reader. I'm not quite sure who the person she's doing the book club with, but she will later in October discuss the book on her platform. So I've started it, and it is my vibe. Now, listen, is anyone getting slashed and murdered? Because it's more adult. They're talking about women, being witches. I relate more to that level of witchcraft than the children. I'm glad that there are books to encourage children to become witches, but I've been there, done that.
Got it. You've grown out. You've grown out.
I've grown out.
I understand. I'm fine. And me, your more simple-minded sister, is going to just head that young adult reading.
Why?
It to the next
I love
level.
it.
Take
right
it
on.
Simple Simon Metapymen. Anyway.
Michelle, are you watching anything while bed rotting or while you were bed rotting?
Yes. I started a series that I have no idea what the fuck I have been avoiding for this long. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon Prime. I know I'm late to the party. I mean, there's 5 seasons, but for folks that don't know, it takes place in the 1950s. Manhattan. Midge Maisel is breaking down all barriers of a male-dominated world in the stand-up comedy scene. I am obsessed with the fashion, her relationship with her manager, the super duo power woman team that they are. And also, fun fact, did you know that this is based on Joan Rivers' life?
I did not know that. And I was a huge fan of Joan.
Makes sense now.
Yeah, it does.
The whole thing makes sense.
Does it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Maisel is pushing barriers. She is testing, saying things that nobody is saying, especially women.
Bravo.
She's getting canceled, shut down, having to fight for what's hers. I fucking love it. She's literally, I'm more inspired actually after watching it.
Great. I love that's all
she's
we're
lit a
for.
fire, man.
Light it up.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're hot. You're on fire.
I know. The veins are
Isn't
like
that
popping out of my
great
neck.
when that happens, when you read or watch or whatever, listen, whatever content you're consuming, that it speaks to you so much that it's like visceral and you're like, I feel this and I'm going to take this with me and incorporate that vibe that I'm getting, that inspiration into the daily shit that I'm doing.
All of that. Yes.
I am watching American Horror Story season 12, Delicate, or I don't know if it's pronounced like Delicate. I don't know. But I loved the first season of AHS.
Same.
Many, many years ago in the haunted house. Really fucked up, really good.
That was it.
That was it. It was
I couldn't do
really,
it after that.
They got super gory, and I don't like gore. I like spooky and horror and mystery, but once you're like cutting people open and their intestines fall out, I'm like, you know what?
Yes,
I'm good.
We're good.
But the reason why I'm watching this one in particular is because I'm super curious about Kim Kardashian's acting. People were like all bullshitty about it. And they're like, ew, Kim, why is she acting? Why? Well, I've had a better question. Why not?
Because people love to hate.
Why not? We love to bitch about this woman for being famous because she had a porn video,
Get over it is what I say.
Out. Right. And then they say, what is she famous for? Well, first of all, she is an incredible businesswoman. And listen, guys, I'm not Kim Kardashian's hugest fan. I do think that they set some impossible standards for what we think physical beauty is.
I think they kind of ruined the standard, actually.
For 100%.
And I don't
But I don't hate them. I don't
Same.
hate these people. There's really much bigger people to dislike.
I honestly think that Kim's biggest mistake was
Kanye?
marrying that dingling.
Oh
but now he has another poor soul walking around in see-through pantyhose.
You guys,
from top to bottom.
I can't, Michelle, and I don't know why they keep putting her in quotes, his quotes wife. Like, has he taken on like a slave? It's really creepy.
It's creepy.
If you guys don't know what we're talking
creepy.
about,
he's insane.
Oh my God, it's super uncomfortable. Go Google Kanye West in Italy and his quote wife and him walk around. He walks around barefoot, like going into shops and and restaurants.
He's got towels, shoes, covers on. He's got boulders for shoulders.
Wearing basically nothing, and it seems like such a weird situation. It seems like almost like she's being forced to wear these things. I'm not into it. It's creepy. Back to Kim.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So I'm just curious to see what her acting is like. And I watched the first episode yesterday. I mean, she is so pretty. It is kind of fun to see her on television acting.
Yeah.
She's not terrible. She resembles a lot of she's not terrible.
Coming from you, I'd say that's a high compliment because you're a pretty tough critic.
I am. I have a feeling that I know Kim is a perfectionist. I've read a bit about her. I know she works really, really hard. So she probably has an acting coach. She probably has all the people she needs and also the power within to do a good job. Mm-hmm. But she also, I feel like kind of resembles herself a little bit. She's kind of playing her own self as like a PR agent. So cool. Do I recommend it yet? Perhaps if you want to see what Kim K is like on TV and you need something spooky and scary, I'll keep you guys posted on what happens from there.
Love it. I might watch it myself just because of her.
It's
just
worth
to see.
I want to throw out something that I'm listening to. My New York Times podcast club on Facebook pointed me in the direction of a podcast titled Your Own Backyard. And it's a documentary podcast series about the 1996 disappearance of Kristin Smart, who disappeared on college campus back in the 90s. I was probably 11 or 12. I remember this happening, but I don't know anything about it. And I will tell you that I've seen her name like within the news over the past 10, 15 years. They never found her body. And I started this podcast and I'm really liking the vibe of it. I like the storytelling. The investigative reporters doing a really good job. I highly recommend this if you're into a serial or a series type of podcast doc.
And I'm sorry, can you share the group you're in on
of
Facebook?
Course.
Because I love me my Facebook groups. That's the only reason I go to Facebook. If
you are like a podcast junkie, and hopefully you are, and you support this, but more than just cozies, because there are so many wonderful creators out there. It's called the New York Times. I'll link it. It's the New York Times podcast club or group. And you get to self-promote. And then there's days when you don't get to, and you get to just talk about what you're binging. And someone made a post specifically for this podcast in your own backyard. So I'll link it all. Michelle, what are you listening to?
Right now, I'm Mel Robbins all day long. And the most recent one I took in was the Never Fast Before Your Period, the shocking science behind intermittent fasting. I've known about intermittent fasting. I've practiced, I've incorporated intermittent fasting in my life. But I didn't really know the innate details and the why and what it does to our body.
Is it good or bad for you? I always thought it was good
incredible for your body and your brain and your blood sugar regulation. And we should all be doing it. And this particular episode, I would say, is the best described effort in explaining intermittent fasting. Like I highly, highly recommend it. I took a lot from it, and now I'm actually incorporating it into my life consistently.
I have a question. What are the times that you're supposed to be intermittent? And I don't mean like calendar times. I mean like during the day. Is it like noon to 8?
It's 11. It's eating between 11 and 8 is
11
the fasting.
a.m. and 8 p.m.
8 p.m. is the fasting schedule that I'm following. But she talks about 5 different types of fasting, and each of them get longer and longer. And she, again, and we've talked about this on here, but she talks about, the access to food that we have and how much food that we're eating, and how it's really okay to go a bit without intaking calories. Your body needs that time to like detox and reset and clean itself out. It's really, and also perimenopausal women who are developing the shelf below the navel, you want to listen to this for that too, because this is like a belly zapper. Intermittent
cool.
fasting.
And this is Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
Okay, so what's up with Mel Gibson these days? Like, whatever happened to Mel?
Well, he got canceled for his...
he got canceled for being anti-Semitic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that will do it.
And then I think he made like a return like Jesus, like rose from the dead.
Then he made Jesus movies.
He did.
And then he made that movie over the summer. It was that movie about human trafficking. And there was a lot of commotion about that one because of a lot of just bullshit that was going on there. But Mel.
Don't know actually.
God, what did I love him in? I loved him in
Braveheart.
Well, he was great in Braveheart.
Yeah.
Right. And then what? Oh my gosh. Oh man. You know a movie I'm going to watch this weekend because and I watched it last year and I need to watch it again. When Harry Met Sally. I heard that is, and I just can't remember it from last year. I feel like I was just like with the baby and there's a lot going on, but it's super fall. Have you watched When Harry Met Sally?
Not in a very, very long time.
Homework assignment. We are going to watch that for next episode and let's report back because that is supposed to be that. And also like You've Got Mail, the other movies with like Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. Sleepless in Seattle. But When Harry Met Sally is like the quintessential fall movie that's not spooky, but it's like, fall vibes. And I love me some Billy Crystal.
Have you seen, what's her name? Meg Ryan is out and she just made a movie. She's coming back out and I think she wrote and directed or is written and acting in this film that's coming out.
I know nothing about it, but I heard and I know about it. Yes, it has been a while. So I'm excited to see what she's created. I saw frickin' Demi Moore on Instagram yesterday, and that woman hasn't aged.
She's a lucky bitch. Okay,
she looks incredible. I mean, even her titties are perky. Her nipples were hard, and they were facing forward. I'm like,
she probably has a handler.
I don't even care if they're not real. They're just beautiful.
Good for her. Good. God bless. Honestly, God bless.
And she's one of those women who wears like the tinted glasses. She often has glasses on now. And I love that that's part of her look. It's like kind of like your accessory. It's like her look and it's her tinted lenses. She does wireframes. She's hot to trot, baby.
Yeah, she is.
Okay, speaking of hot to trot, you guys, I love me some hacks when it comes to taking a photograph because I know my good side. Listener, do you have a good side? Michelle, you're straightforward.
Straight on, but mostly have dead eyes. So I'm hopefully whatever hack you have.
Yeah, these will not help your eyes, but we try to keep Michelle's eyes open during any photos that we take. And sometimes it's a process and kind of a struggle. Just got to take a lot, and then you'll get 1 out of 50. I'm like, her eyes are open. Great. I look like shit, but we still have to use this because she's awake in this one.
And that's the thing is Lauren thinks she looks like shit. And I get pissed off in my mind and I don't ever tell her because she never looks like shit. She always looks amazing.
We are horrible to ourselves.
We are horrid. The things that I say to myself when I see a picture of myself, I should be ashamed of myself for the way I treat myself.
I went shopping. So while I was on my, capsule closet shopping spree. I stopped in a shop called Artifact in Lincoln Park. Great shop for gifts, for clothes. Women owned. Stop by. It's on Armitage. And the young lady that was helping me, super sweet. She was so good at her job, except for she thought I was a lot smaller than I was. And I was looking for jeans. And she's like, what size do you need? I'm like, I definitely need like a 29 or a 30. And she's like, no. You're like a 27. I was like, I'm like, do these ones big?
But sometimes they know if they're big. She was wrong.
She was wrong. I mean, I even like put them up to me and she's like, just try them. And I tried them on and I'm like, no worries. And by the time I was done trying on too small clothes, I had to go because I have a nanny and I just had to like get back to my baby. And she's like, do you want to try the bigger, like a different size? She's like, I'm so sorry. I was wrong about your sizes. I'm like, don't be sorry. It's not even a problem. And I wasn't really crazy about the jeans. I'm like, don't even worry about it. Yeah. She goes, well, if it makes you feel any better, I think you look amazing. And I said, I know I do. Thank you. Because I do. Because listen, if we don't say nice things about ourselves and we only take it from our people, like other people, we got to also feel good. We also have to say nice things about ourselves.
You're right. For every negative, shitty thing we say, we should counter that with a positive.
And instead of like getting a compliment and being like, oh, I've got more pounds.
I'm so ugly.
You should have seen me before.
No,
I know I do. Thank you. Okay, back to photographs.
Back to it.
You always want to know your good side. I'm a left sider. I'm like Mariah Carey. One side is less crooked than the other side, whatever. So there's this new thing called Mewing, Mewing. Okay. So what Mewing does, it tightens the jawline immediately. Now you're doing it. You're doing it, Peter. What's that from? That's from Hook. Have you ever seen Hook? You're doing it, Peter. Okay. So
great movie, by the way.
It's so good. We have the VHS. It's the one and only VHS that we have on our shelf. Michelle, you're mewing. Michelle is mewing. She looks so good. What you want to do, listener, you're going to take your tongue and you're going to like suction cup it to the top of the roof of your mouth so you can barely have access to breathe through your mouth at all. Michelle, wow. Okay.
Look at the mouth a little open, a little. That is where I get annoyed. Okay, listener, you can't see this, but you will soon. You will be able to see it on YouTube for real. We really are starting that channel. Lauren's mewing right now, and this is another thing about Lauren that she knows annoys me because I'm jealous. She can make a face that I would make look like I'm taking a number 2. She looks like she should be at the front of a magazine.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. I'm just going to take it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Listen, guys, back in the day, I did like some amateur modeling. I modeled brides' dresses for a Chicago magazine. I was on TV for a while. This was years and years and years and years ago. But you know what? You don't lose some of the things that you learn
riding a bike.
In certain industries. Exactly.
Still trying to get the training wheels off of mine.
And this is the thing. If you've seen like photos of J-Lo where she's kind of like squinting her eyes and like puffing up her lips a little bit, yes, that's probably great skincare and a little like maybe needles here and there. But I guarantee that the stars right now, and they have been, they're mewing. So again, it's less of a smile and it's more of a subtle like smile with your eyes. And Michelle, it actually looks really pretty. And you literally suction your tongue to the top. So this was a technique that is believed to have been popularized by British father-son orthodontists John and Mike Mew.
Oh, I didn't know that they had orthos in Britain.
Michelle.
Oh, that was funny.
They do. That was a good one. We're going to keep that one in.
That one's keeping
okay. We're keeping that one.
I'm inspired by Midge Maisel. I'm just going to start saying it, you know?
You know what? And you should, because guess what? You didn't, no harm done. No. So mewing, you guys. I'm going to show you guys another one. I call this the Melrose Park hand placement. So there's a little town by our house and it's called Melrose Park. That's where a lot of my Italian American friends live. Anthony's family's from around next door around it, kind of. Not there, but around there. Women are known to put their hand on their hip to kind of like, to make their arms look thinner, to kind of pop the shoulder. Listen to me, you guys. Okay. I got this off of a tip from TikTok. Move your hand up to your waist. because you're going to accentuate the smaller part of your waist, and whatever, big or small, whatever, you're going to find that you just have a little bit more structure in the shape of your body than putting your hand on your hip, which oftentimes is the why in my, here, I'll speak for myself.
It's the beginning of my pear. It's the beginning of the low part of the pear for me.
Yeah, the thicker part of my sexy body. So you put it on your waist, and you're also shaping your collarbone and shoulder a little differently, and you're almost elongating parts of your body. This is
my God.
Great
call our photographer. I'm ready for a photo shoot. Call her. I'm ready. Call her.
Aren't these great tips?
Yes.
Here's, you know, and I love, I like taking photos. And as we age, we dissect things that are on our face or what we look like compared to 20 years ago. We're never going to look like we did 20 years ago.
No, so never seen one person look like a baby except for Benjamin Button. That's the only one.
Look, and like hair, and Barry Manilow. He has like baby vibes because he's gotten way too much work done.
It's upsetting. Honestly, it's frightening.
So you guys, Mew hand on waist. Okay. You're going to look so hot. Michelle, you're looking good. Oh, you guys got to see her mewing. It's such a cool
different
technique.
Than mooing.
Not moo. Mew. Okay, last topic we want to hit up because someone specifically asked if we would comment on this, and she's kind of all over the place right now. Bethenny Frankel. Bethenny Frankel got in a lot of hot water, steaming hot water. She got in hot water last week, a couple weeks back, because she gets sent, like a lot of famous people and influencers, probably an asinine amount of product from companies. And I support what she did here.
On top of what she's buying.
Yeah, and she buys a lot. She is a huge consumer, but she's super wealthy. She talks about how wealthy she is. And what she did was she shops at TJ Maxx a lot, and she does these like Instagram videos and shows you what she buys, and she becomes friends with the cashier. So she, on video, brings this gigantic, very generous of her, this gigantic bag of wonderful makeup products to give to the manager of this TJ Maxx that she frequents.
Consuela.
Well, was that her name? It was Consuela. It was Consuela. And she goes to Consuela and says, I love that you knew her name. That's amazing. She goes to Consuela and says on video, these
Instagrammers made a big deal about her being her friend, but not knowing
her name. That's right. Because Bethenny goes on to say, I'm going to go to see my friend at TJ Maxx and give her some of this makeup that I was gifted. And then she walks up to Consuela and says, hi, what's your name again? And it's like, if you're her friend and, let's do this the right way, whatever. But then she forces this bag of gifts on her. And Consuela is very straightforward, where she's like, we cannot take anything gratuitous. We can't take tips. And Bethenny goes on to say, just take it, in the Bethenny Frankel way.
She's
just take
inserting, I'll take care of everything. I'm going to call the big guys. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to call the owner of TJ Maxx, like the main owner forever and ever, and tell them I gifted Consuela and her friends the gifts, allow them to take it because I'm Bethenny Frankel, yada, yada, yada. And people were just kind of really taken aback by her kind of aggressiveness and pushing this, and also videotaping this woman who, that to me was kind of uncomfortable.
None of these things were a surprise to me.
She
walks around with a video camera. She lacks self-awareness. She's not known to be this soft and snuggly lady. She's kind of a pushy.
She's abrasive.
She's a pushy and abrasive. All of the things that I've seen so far, none of it shocks me. Go on.
It doesn't shock me either. And this is and I don't think I really do appreciate that she was re-gifting or re-giving this product to someone, because a lot of people might just throw it away, and this is brand new shit that she's getting. So it does have to go somewhere. Did she have to put it on video? Could she have done it on the sly? Absolutely. But it's Bethenny Frankel. Something she's been doing, and this I feel like has been happening in the last 6 months, is recording and shooting everything. She's the one thing she hasn't done yet is record herself taking a crap.
Yep.
She's literally, it's almost like overexposure. And this is the problem with social media, is that we don't need to know everything. We don't need to know every thought coming from your brain, everything you're eating, everything you're doing, how you sleep, how you do literally your 24-hour of a day. And that's what she's doing. So she's getting in hot water because she's exposing so much, and it's becoming kind of a problem for her. She was actually talking about she's doing this thing called the Tween Chronicles, and she's just kind of bitching about her daughter being a brat or something. And it's just all kind of I don't know, 10 years from now, is your daughter going to love the way that you're talking about her and your relationship? Maybe she won't care, but maybe she might.
Mm-hmm.
You think probably not?
I don't think she'll love it.
You're saying she probably won't love it.
I don't think she will. I don't know. I have no idea what the details of their relationship are. I think that when you choose to put every minute of your waking breath and on social media,
so intense.
You're going to get
so much backlash
for it. Do I think that, like, I was scrolling through TikTok, kind of like watching what people were saying, and I'm like, oh,
they also have to get a life.
Here we go again. This person's complaining because Bethenny's showing her white privilege, and we're going to make this big deal out of it. I'm like,
it's just a lot.
It's really not that big of a deal.
I completely agree with you.
Honestly, like, she made a bad call for kind of bringing the cameras along.
Yeah, she should have just given it to her.
Just hand it over on the slide. But everything else, she was being herself. That is what she does. Was it coming from a bad place or a kind place? It was coming from a good place. She wasn't trying to hurt somebody or assert her wealth and grandiose on everyone. She was just being her. And unfortunately for her, she's going to get freaking bulldozed by bitching and complainers on the internet.
But I will tell you something. What I love about her, though, there is something I love about her. She doesn't give a shit.
She doesn't.
And she'll be like, cancel me, bitch. And I do appreciate that, because there are piranhas and sharks out there that will make it their mission to take away someone's fame or have people cancel them or not like them. And what she really did wasn't that bad at all.
It wasn't.
Exactly. And and that's why I think she's so successful. And that's why I think she's rolling in dough, because she doesn't take shit from anyone. And she did apologize, though. She said, I'm sorry. I didn't realize this is how it works, blah, blah, blah. So also there, people that
and that won't be the first time she apologizes, and it won't be the last. Who cares?
I watched a TikTok on her talking about how broke she was before she got on The Apprentice, the television show. And that was actually my favorite thing to hear her talk about, because she was talking about how she was doing the auditions. She had $8,000 in the bank, and she was like, I didn't want this job for The Apprentice. I needed it. Mm-hmm. And she got eliminated the first time she auditioned. They asked her back again. Bethenny works fucking hard, and I think that's where she's at. And she does want to give back. She's got a great organization that helps during natural disasters. And I think people that kind of come out of the woodworks or use their platform specifically to cancel people
should be a bag of dicks.
Exactly. I think it's like, why don't you figure out what you're doing with your life?
Why don't you do something? I honestly have no patience for that. Like going into the bowels of the internet to go watch nobody's, in my opinion, I'm just saying, I'm going to be super rude right now, going and taking time out of their busy day to smear somebody.
I know, it's super weird.
Something like, you're bored. I'm bored.
I'm going to end this conversation with a really cool anecdote from Matthew McConaughey. And it's so random, but Matthew McConaughey has released a children's book called Just Because. And it's titled Just Because, and it was written because he had a friend in his youth who lied to him one time. And that friendship ended because Matthew got so upset and offended by the lie that he cut off that relationship. And I believe that there is like a miss and there's a loss of that friendship. And he wrote the book Just Because, meaning just because that friend lied once doesn't make them a liar. Just because someone did something this one time doesn't make that who they are to their core.
I love it.
And I think that's
a really, really wonderful message.
Just because Bethenny tried to force some old product on a lady doesn't mean she's a horrible human being.
No.
And I think we can use this just because in so many ways. Just because someone had a bad day doesn't mean they're a bad person.
Yeah, just because somebody called you X, Y, and Z doesn't make them right.
Right,
just
exactly.
Because, we're going to use
and just
this
because someone had a slip up and they said something that maybe was not intentionally, I'm going to use the word like racist. Maybe they accidentally slipped up. Just because they made a mistake doesn't make them a racist asshole.
Mm-hmm,
maybe uneducated, maybe uninformed, but we're all just trying. And I love this book because it teaches children to understand that you don't have to look at person one way based on one thing they may have ever done. you know?
Matthew McConaughey is a special
He is.
person, and the way he communicates his thoughts about things, like I'm like, how lucky
He's
are
like, I'm
his
sexy.
kids to have, I know, but to have a dad like that, you know, to like be, wow, he's just a special fellow.
Years ago, I read a Vanity Fair article featuring Matthew McConaughey, and he was talking about his father. It was a whole article about him and his father's relationship. And his father taught him, and I'm assuming he teaches this to his kids, and I use this as well. Instead of saying, I can't, I'm having trouble. So I use that a lot during trying to get pregnant. Instead of saying like, I can't get pregnant, I'm just having some trouble getting pregnant right now. And it really changes how you look at what it is you're trying to do.
I just applied that because of him to a situation with one of my kids who is learning something new for the first time. And there's a lot of, I can't get it. I don't know it. And I'm like,
it's having some trouble.
That's because you just started learning it. You are just having some trouble.
Yeah.
You will get there. And yeah, it's just a
look at
really relatable, applicable message.
Look at Bethenny. Look, Bethenny bringing us to Matthew McConaughey and us just sharing full circle, some sort of circle. Michelle, what are you doing for your cozy, mindful well-being? As we wrap up the show, share with our listeners what you're doing so you can inspire them.
I am eating only between the hours of 11 and 8, and I am feeling and seeing the results, you know, like feeling more focused, feeling more energized, but also the tum-tum is, it seems like, and who knows, guys, I'm a 40, almost 6-year-old woman. I feel like I have one day where I'm not bloated during the course of 30, but it does feel like perhaps there is some of the residual, and I like it, and it makes me feel good.
Good. I am, as I mentioned, shopping my capsule closet. And by closet, I'm not like getting a whole new wardrobe, but I am getting a number of pieces, both. And I didn't mention this at the beginning. A lot of what I got over the course of 2 weeks are thrifted as well, secondhand. I've gone to a store in New Buffalo called Posh, and I went to Mashallah, which is in Pilsen. She has one of my favorite collections of thrifted items. I will be checking out Closest Closet, and I'm getting things that are in such good shape for half the price, that are one of a kind. And I'm buying clothes that I feel good in. My body's different. It dresses different. And it feels good to find clothing, whether it's secondhand or brand new, that fits me. And it's also the vibe I'm going for.
Love it. So, double win for you, feeling good and also doing good.
Yeah. It feels good to buy. Honestly, I bought some incredible pieces from 2 different shops secondhand. And I'm just blown away by the gems that you can find. They're treasures. They really are.
Can't wait to see what they look like.
Yeah. All right, you guys, loaded conversation. Loaded. Michelle, people love when you sing. So
I know, I love it.
Your little ditties.
You want me to sing us on the way out?
I do. In a 3 and a 2 and 1.
Well, that's all we've got for you on Cozy Conversation. So I'm gonna send you on your way and stay cozy. This podcast is sponsored by CHT Orthodontics. When I was 15 years old, a boy I was crushing on told me his big brother thought I was cute. My awkward self was overjoyed. I thought, finally, someone thinks I'm cute. His brother's exact words were, your little friend with the buck teeth sure is cute. The only 2 words I heard in that statement were buck and teeth, and in an instant, my heart sank. But not to worry, after 9 pulled teeth and a couple of years of braces, bands, and headgear, my self-esteem was reinstated. Those braces changed my life and turned my biggest insecurity into my greatest asset. I've smiled with confidence ever since. This is why I am so excited about our sponsor, CHT Orthodontics, located right here in downtown Hinsdale, Illinois, where their mission is to help their patients to achieve their own dream smiles. From braces tailored for children and adolescents to Invisalign solutions for adults and teenagers, CHT's goal is to make the journey easy and fun and ultimately help their patients obtain the confidence and happiness that comes with a beautiful smile. CHT's friendly team provides a welcoming environment that makes you feel right at home. You'll love it there. Dr. Carey and Dr. Ummi pride themselves on being the top choice for braces and Invisalign in the western suburbs. Personally, CHT is my family's top choice for braces for both of my kids.
The staff is warm, the office is hip, and my kids are just months away from achieving the smile of their own dreams. Go to www.chtortho.com and schedule your appointment today. Stay cozy and smile.
Thank you for joining us for today's cozy conversation. For more of The Sister Project, check us out on Instagram at The Sister Proj and our website, www.thesisterprojectblog.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and maybe even drop us a review. Until next time, stay cozy.